Shabbat Shalom. This parasha is the parasha of Vayera. God being revealed to Abraham. Our sage is saying that God came to Abraham to visit him because Abraham was a bit sick. He did his circumcision in the age of 99. Abraham came after doing the circumcision, resting, God visiting him. We don't know exactly what does that mean, but we all understand the idea that to show that he had some kind of experience of meeting with God. And then the Torah telling us that came three people, and Abraham told God, please, I need to leave and to host those three people. Who were those three people? Those three Arabic people, actually, our sages saying that they were Arabic, and Abraham was concerning that they were also worshipping other gods. And he hosts them in his house and asked them, please sit under the tree near my house. And he gave them food quickly, and he ran to Sarah, telling her to prepare the dough. He was so involved in this mitzvah of accepting guests and hosting them. This is actually very interesting, and this is one of the symbols of Abraham and of the Jewish nation, that hosting, one of the biggest mitzvot. It's such a big mitzvah that Abraham told God, please wait, I need to host those three Arabic people. And that's what he did. And then we understand from the story that those three people are not ordinary people. Those people are three angels that appeared as an ordinary people. And one came to help Abraham being cured from the circumcision. The second one came to tell Abraham that he's going next year to have a son, Yitzchak. And the third angel came to destroy the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, this is the situation. Now, one thing that we can learn from this story, that with this story, this parasha starts, that if Abraham would be for a minute in the age of 99, will take a rest after doing the circumcision, he have pain, he's 99 years old, he's speaking with God, he have some kind of revelation of God, he will not run to his guest and ask those three Arabic to join his tent and to eat and drink. He will not do it. Not because he's a bad person, he's just not Abrahamic. If he will not do it, he will not receive the blessings of Yitzchak. The promise that the Jewish nation will continue is dependent on this act of Abraham. So of course, God already promised Abraham before that he will have a son. It's all true. And God probably will have a different way to give the blessing to Yitzchak. But the Torah here teaching us something very interesting. That the blessing that the angel delivered to Abraham and Sarah was delivered in a way that it was dependent in the kindness of Abraham. And from that thing starts the Jewish nation, the next generation. Abraham had his son Yitzchak from these blessings of the angel. So this is something that we should think about. So the importance of the mitzvah of hosting. And I think, why is the mitzvah of hosting such a big thing? That Abraham told God to wait because he's hosting some non-Jews. And also, the blessing of Yitzchak was dependent in this mitzvah. Why it's such an important mitzvah? Because to give charity, to give money, even to give food to someone else, it means that you understand, of course, the importance of mitzvah tzedakah, charity, is very important. It's not we cannot even describe. I will just say one word, that basically a person working, he have some money, he put his energy in earning the money. And when he giving this money to another person, it means that he give this energy, all the effort that he put in earning the money, he gave it this also to someone else. And more than that, with these 5-10 euros that a person gave to another, he can save his life. A person that is hungry, he can buy food that will save his life with these 5-10 euros. So this money is actually, you gave the worth of your life to someone else. This is the importance of charity. But to host people, it's showing another thing. It's showing another level of this fact. To host people means that you're taking them and putting them inside your house. When you're hosting people, it means that you're eating from the same dish, and you're singing the same songs, and you're talking in the same level. And this basically is another way of showing the unity of the Jewish nation, the unity of the people. They are one. It's not only that I'm giving you, it's also we are one. We're eating from the same kind of food, and you sitting in my house. So this is another deeper mitzvah. Okay, so this is the beginning of our parasha. In the end of our parasha, we are already learning about the famous story of Akedat Yitzchak, the sacrificing of Yitzchak. Avraham taking his son to the mountain where God is showing Avraham that this is the place that he should take his son. Why? So God told him, I want you to take your beloved son, Yitzchak, to sacrifice him to me. Avraham, without asking any questions, waking up in the morning, already preparing his donkey, everything, taking the woods, taking the knife, taking the fire, and going with Yitzchak to the mountain. On the way, I want to read some of the verses. In the beginning of the story of Akedat Yitzchak, the story goes in English, and it was after these events, I'm reading now in English, that God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he answered, here I am. This is the beginning. And he said, take your son, your only son, who you love, Yitzchak, and go to the land of Moriah. This is the mountain of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains. This is the beginning. After 3 days of walking, they see already the mountain, and Abraham walking alone with Yitzchak. In this journey alone that the father and the son going, Yitzchak finally asking his father a question. Now, by the way, this question is the only discussion that we have, Abraham and Yitzchak, in the Torah. The only discussion, one question, one answer, that we have that Abraham and Yitzchak spoke. It's in this moment, during their journey to the sacrifice of Yitzchak. And then, what is the discussion? The discussion goes, first of all, I will explain that Yitzchak telling his father, Father, I see the knife, I see the wood, but where is the sheep, the lamb, something that we're going to offer God to sacrifice? What we're going to sacrifice? And Abraham telling him, God will show us what we're going to sacrifice. Let's see it inside. Then Yitzchak spoke to Abraham his father and said, my father. And he answered, here I am, my son. The same that we said in the beginning, that God told Abraham. Abraham, and Abraham said, here I am. And he said, here are the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb or the burnt offering? Abraham answered, God will provide for himself the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. So this answer of Abraham, there is two ways how to read it. If Abraham telling him, my son, you will be the lamb, or that God will find for us my son. So it depends. And when the story ends, of course, Abraham preparing everything, putting Yitzchak on the altar, taking the knife, and then the angel telling him, Abraham. And Abraham said, here I am. And then he telling him, you should leave your son alone, and I see your dedication to me. Before I want to explain those moments, I want to say something in general about the sacrificing of Yitzchak. God wanted to show to Abraham the dedication into the world, and to reveal in Abraham the dedication that Abraham have towards God. Abraham was a person of love, was a person that is more important to him to host people. This is the most of the holiest thing that he can do. Abraham is the person of kindness. And God revealing by Abraham also the other side, the side of judgment, the side of not kindness, that this side will also be dedicated to God. And this is by doing the most horrible thing, sacrificing his son. And of course, he didn't do it. Another point about this sacrificing of Yitzchak is that the value of life, holiness, sanctity of life, is something that Jewish religion brought to the world. Before that, in that time, people were sacrificing their sons, and that was, of course, we know until Romans and Greeks, the sanctity of life was not so important. In Judaism, from the beginning, the second mitzvah of the Torah is not to kill. So, the sanctity of life. And God wanted to show Abraham, the nations sacrificing the firstborn. You will not do it. You will not do it. Because we're not doing these things. Talking about 4,000 years ago. And until today, we need to influence still other nations that the sanctity of life is something holy. And the Jewish nation is more careful than others about the sanctity of life. But now I want to get to the point. Let's imagine a father going with his son. Why he's going with his son? Because God revealed himself to Abraham and told him, you should take your son. So Abraham, of course, taking his son, is dedicated, is devoted. But now he's a bit emotionally split. Either he's feeling his dedication to God, either he's feeling his dedication to his son. Either he's a father and doing the right thing as a father, protecting his son, or he's a servant of God, he's doing whatever God told him. A normal person cannot be fully at once in both places. And this is what was special about Abraham. Abraham, God telling him, Abraham, he said, here I am, I'm fully healed. You should take your son. Here I am. And then God, Yitzchak, going with his father, Abraham and Yitzchak alone on the way, going up to the mountain, and Yitzchak turning to his father and telling him, my father. And Abraham telling him, here I am, I'm fully healed, I'm with you. God is here to show us what will be. Meaning, I'm not escaping from my duty as a servant of God. And I'm not escaping from my duty as a father. As a father, I'm also fully here. Yitzchak, I'm here for you also. And Abraham was fully dedicated to God and to his son. And then God showed him, now I know that you are my servant. Because a person should not be disconnected. I'm connected with God. I'm not connected to my family. I'm not connected to the world. I'm not connected to what's happening in the world. And a person should not be, I need to invest in my family. If you are fully dedicated to God, you are also like Abraham, when your son telling you, my father, you're answering him, here I am, I'm fully here. Because this is one of the missions that God showed us also, to create a family, to protect our kids. This is one of the lessons that we can learn from Abraham. Shabbat Shalom and good news.